It's the Jack and Nick Horror Show.
Hello, this is Jack. You don't have Nick this week, you have Jack. I apologize to the Nick enthusiasts. I'm a huge Nick fan, hence the reason why there's a Jack and Nick show. This evening, though, you do have myself. That may either be good or bad, depending on if you like me or not. Hopefully I persuade you to like me a little bit more, since I don't have Nick interrupting me this whole time. No, I'm kidding. The reason I'm doing this show is because I have been absent for quite some time. I am currently in the process of working 6-day work weeks at my day job that pays for the stuff that I record on right now on my internet, as well as saving up money so I can purchase a house and doing even more overtime just to get money. So that's kind of where I've been. It's been kind of hectic. I've had a few days off, and when I have that time off, I just want to sit down and sleep and just watch movies, or not even make it halfway through Texas Chainsaw 3, as a matter of fact. So what I'm going to do on this show tonight is I'm going to talk about Stranger Things for a little bit, and then I'm going to give you a bunch of movies that I sort of love that don't get too much love, and I'm also going to give you another segment that we have done before in the past for a certain listener. But I think it would be a good opportunity to use this segment for just kind of clearing the air for myself. Not that I don't want to with Nick. And don't think this is an ego boost or anything like that, because actually Nick suggested it as well, for me to do a show just so you the listeners can hear me, and hey, here I am. The show is still going on. I do apologize tremendously for the delay in the episodes, and I'm glad that Nick has stepped up and done the solo episodes, because I just love to hear that man talk. He can read the phone book, and it's an enjoyable read. I think we attempted that before. Nick really couldn't read the phone book. It was kind of boring, actually. Stranger Things, up next. Stranger Things, TV show, not movie of the week, but TV show of the week / whatever you want to call it. 2016, directed by the Duffer Brothers, and also, what's his name, Sean Levy. Stars Winona Ryder, David Harbour, Finn Wolfhard, Millie Bobby Brown, Gaten Matarazzo, Caleb McLaughlin, and Natalia Dyer. Let's talk about Stranger Things for a little bit. I'm not really going to go too far into this. Most of you have probably already seen this much earlier than I have. Kind of late to the game on this, only because I didn't have the time to watch it, except Labor Day came up, and I got to spend a little bit of time with my girlfriend, and she and I both decided, hey, let's just sit down and watch Stranger Things and just chill. So that's what we did. We watched the entire series. I really enjoyed the entire series. I thought it was fantastic. There are some little gripes, but everybody has gripes about everything these days. But it's kind of a little bit of a tangent I'm going to go on about 80s stuff. However, the movie, well, the TV show, movie thing, the series, let's call it a series, I think is really great, and it borrows from the past, but it makes things very, very modern and cool too. So, one thing I will say, I really enjoyed the character of Jim Hopper, which is David Harbour, the chief of police. He is kind of great in this movie, and he's pretty much a a character actor that's been in a bunch of movies and TV. You'll notice him. But I think in this here, he really shines, really does a great job. And he's kind of the most fleshed out character. A couple of the other, I mean, the kids are really good. It's great to see Matthew Modine in this, by the way. Matthew Modine, if you're not aware, if you're young, he was a guy that was an actor and still is. He was in Vision Quest, a bunch of 80s films, Full Metal Jacket as well. Matthew Modine's kind of looking old. He's kind of looking like Ed Bigley Jr. a little bit in this show, but they kind of made him look older. But he's getting up there in age, which is making me feel very old as well. Winona Ryder kind of still looks the same. She kind of looks impish, and that's exactly what she is supposed to be looking like in this. And I think she carries her own and does a little bit of an anti-Winona role, which is really cool. Again, the kids are great. Acting's fine. Story wise, I think it's really good. I don't really think there's really too many boring moments in it. I mean, here and there it might drag a little bit, but nothing too major. The only a couple of things I didn't like were I wanted to see more people getting picked off. I don't know why. I just wanted to see certain characters get their asses kicked. Cool thing is that a lot of the characters in this too are really fleshed out, which is a good thing when you have a series rather than a 2-hour movie. But the characters are really fleshed out, and some of them do unexpected things and gestures, which I really appreciated. As far as the 80s stuff, Nick and I have gone off about 80s stuff and let's make new stuff and all that before. The only thing I appreciated the aesthetic of the show. To quote my girlfriend, she kind of said that it reminded her of Ty West's, which I agree with. However, there are some things in this that kind of remind me of Wedding Singer. Wedding Singer, if you're familiar with the movie, has a lot of 80s references to the point of where it gets ridiculous. And it's all cool and all that, but when the decade is just the backdrop, it makes it a lot cooler, rather than, hey, look at this, and hey, look at that. Do you know this? Me too. I remember this. It feels like kind of pandering at times. The Stranger Things, I'm saying. The thing about Wedding Singer, the reason I bring that up, is that they had some stuff in there that was completely off the mark. As far as like it being 1985 in the movie, the dress code and things that were going on in the movie and songs kind of didn't fit the exact year. Same kind of thing happens here, where they have let's say a makeout session that may or may not turn to sex, and they start playing Hazy Shade of Winter by the Bangles, and the show was supposed to take place during 1933, and I'm sitting there going, Hazy Shade of Winter, that came out on the Less Than Zero soundtrack in '87. I know that for a fact because my brother had gotten his first CD player, and that was the first CD along with a Very Special Christmas, and both CDs had Run DMC's Christmas in Hollis, Queens on it. And I remember the Less Than Zero soundtrack very well because that was kind of a Christmas movie as well. It's that kind of stuff there that, like, okay, somebody my age, and I know I'm an old head or whatever, when I'm watching it, I go, it takes me out of the movie or the show or series, whatever the hell we're watching these days. But it takes me out of what I'm watching because that's where my mind starts to go. If you play like an obscure '87 song in that moment that nobody really knows, it's not going to throw you for a loop. But when it's the Bangles and it's Hazy Shade of Winter, but which by the way is kind of a badass song if you think about it, and if you play that while two people are kissing, it's and they were kissing slow. It wasn't like they were like banging and banging their bodies together or anything like that. It was just like, hey, let's start making out, and then they play this, really loud. It kind of messes it up. Anyway, a couple of the other things too. One of the kids has an Evil Dead poster in his room, and I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. I'm sure he has that in his room, as well as the Thing poster. Somebody has the Thing poster, which the movie came out in '83, and now all of a sudden they have a Thing poster. And the Thing nobody cared about until it came out on cable. And actually, I'm sorry, '82 it came out, whatever. But you get the drift. It came out in '82. Do you know any kids that had the Thing? And the whole Joy Division thing, and there were so many just references that I'm like, I want to hear about the story. And that kind of happens with the series, and that's why I really liked the series as it progressed more. That kind of stuff weighs down the show at first, because it becomes like, this is a thing set in the 80s. It's 80s. And we're at the point now where, we're getting fatigued from the 80s. At least I am. I mean, I absolutely love that decade. It's one of my favorite decades in the world, because I obviously grew up during that time, and I have a lot of great memories of it. But that's what I want to do. I want to keep those memories, and I'm not saying that the show like this ruins that, but what it does is it just keeps on pushing it. And after a while, I have the kind of personality where if something is just pushed down my throat constantly, that sounds pornographic, but if something is just pushed down my throat constantly, I just start to regurgitate a little bit, I'm not going to take the full wad. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But definitely would recommend watching the show, because it is really cool. It has some exciting moments. It has some unexpected turns. It feels like a novel. So the cool thing is each episode is like a chapter. So that really adds to the flavor of it. So it feels like you're picking up a book, reading a chapter, closing it, putting it away, getting to it the next day or two. That's kind of how it feels. And it has a continuous story, which is great. And it's everything I liked about it. So I would definitely recommend it. And I'm looking forward to season 2. I really hope that they do something different with season 2. I hope it's like American Horror Story in a sense, where it's just a different story altogether, because you can only go so far with this one. Up next, Rare Gems I Love. First up, not necessarily rare. I'm starting this out with a bang here. I'm going to say Dr. Butcher, M.D., Zombie Holocaust, 1980. Directed by Mariano Girolami as Frank Martin. That's the reason why I left there. Also starring Ann McCullough, Alexandra Dele Cully, Sherry Buchanan, Peter O'Neill, Donna O'Brien, and Dakar. That's, I'm not going to make the Dakar. Okay. So, Zombie Holocaust. I'm not really going to go into the entire aesthetics here and all this kind of stuff. I'm not going to go into the entire movie, and this ain't going to be like a 2-hour podcast. Maybe it is. But what I will say is that recently Severn had put out a fantastic Blu-ray of Dr. Butcher, MD. Comes with a barf bag if you act now. I don't know if they still have them or not, but Dr. Butcher, MD is it's pretty bad. It's a terrible movie. But it's a fun movie. Basically, the little plot synopsis is: members of an expedition in search for the last faithful of Quito, this is coming from IMDb, the cannibal god, land on a small island in the East Indies. I can't even pronounce this shit anymore. Are soon hunted by cannibals and zombies, these being created by the sinister Dr. O'Brien, who is experimenting with corpses. Susan, a sexy lady, and okay. So anyway, Yeah, that's basically what's happening. He's doing experiments. It's kind of like the island of Dr. Moreau, except you're dealing with the island of Dr. Zombie or Dr. Butcher MD, Medical Deviant. This movie totally captures 42nd Street Grindhouse, and that's the reason why I'm bringing this one up. I am if you're a enthusiast about the past, we just talked about that with Stranger Things there, and I say we meaning me, but I mean we as you listening to me and me talking with you. Just imagine you were talking stranger. Okay, anyway, so the Blu-ray itself really has a ton of extras about the entire past of 42nd Street, New York, Grindhouse Theaters. Your host on one of the segments is I believe the producer or director of Street Trash, and somebody else. They even talk about Dr. Butcher MD and all the movies that played there. They talk about the movie in which Rodney Dangerfield did a supporting role before any movies like Easy Money or Caddyshack and all that. But Dr. Butcher MD is just a fun, terrible exploitation shit show. It's great to watch. It's one of those that you really have to be in the mood for. It's kind of like, no, I wouldn't say Cannibal Holocaust. I'd say more along the lines of Cannibal Ferox, done way of Dr. Monroe, or Moreau, sorry, or Island of Gods. I can't remember. I'm really tired, by the way. But I'm doing this because I have such a big ego, people know, okay? But if you haven't seen Zombie Holocaust or Dr. Butcher MD, I strongly recommend picking up Dr. Butcher MD and watching the hell out of this thing. It has everything you want. It has the gore. It has the nudity. I don't think it has male nudity. It has Ann McCullough from Fulci Zombie as well. So it's just fun, terrible crap. So I that's all I'm gonna say about it. It's nothing that you're gonna sit here and go, oh my god, this is one of the best movies ever made. It's just absolutely incredible. It's not. It's a piece of shit, but it's a fun piece of shit. So if you like fun pieces of shit and it's one of those movies you haven't checked out, and you like the Blind Buy stuff, hell, Blind Buy Dr. Butcher MD. Give money to Severn. They deserve your money. All right, and I'm doing this by the seat of my pants anyway. So here we go. Next up is There's Nothing Out There. This movie I've mentioned on a previous show, Slashercast, which I was a host of. And There's Nothing Out There is directed by Ralph Konevsky. It came out in about 91. It was made in 89. Stars, forget it. It stars nobodies. The basic concept of There's Nothing Out There is you have, I believe it's 6 kids go out to a house in the woods, let's say, and there's a creature that is there that possesses the women and kills the men. Now, this sounds like a terrible movie, and it knows it is a terrible movie. It's one of the more self-referential horror films. It's not the original one, but it definitely is a very self-referential film. It came before Scream, and that's kind of the big debate. They sort of talk about on the DVD of it, put out by Troma, and also the old DVD, which I also have too. The Troma one is really good. It's got the original poster on it and everything's great. Really good transfer as well. But the cool thing with the movie is they have a character in it that is just like Randy from Scream, and certain lines are kind of twisted in a different sense when you watch this compared to Scream. He's got that thing where he's seen every horror movie and he goes, we can't do this because if you do this in a horror movie you'll get killed, and people just don't listen to him and they end up getting killed. So it is a spoof. It's definitely a comedy. You're not going to get scared by this movie at all. And the cool thing is they do some really neat referential moments in it. In the beginning, you're going to see a bunch of VHS posters and all that, and box art, really cool to look at, but it's just a dream sequence. When it gets into the actual film, it's another one that's really terrible, but it's shot really well, and it's got some really funny lines in it. And if you watch it over and over again, it's one of those things, kind of like a Coen Brothers movie, where if you watch it over and over again, you start to appreciate it even more and more, and you love it more and more. There are a lot of tiny little silly moments in it. It feels like one of those actual movies where friends got together and made a movie in like New Jersey. It feels, it has that fun feeling to it that you really don't get these days. It feels like people are just trying to impress some girl or something while making a movie. It really does feel that way. This one does not feel that way necessarily. It has a lot of funny lines in it. It has like a Pink Panther reference that if you're not a Pink Panther fan, you're not going to get it, but it doesn't matter. It's still funny anyway. So I can do nothing but recommend the hell out of this movie. Definitely check it out. If you're in the mood for it. Again, it's low budget. It's terrible, but it's just one of those movies. It actually, if you're into like that thing that we were talking about earlier with Stranger Things, where it's like the 80s aesthetic, that's kind of where you should go with it. But anyway, it's a fun movie. I recommend it. I would recommend it to just about anybody. And hell, who is it? Kevin Smith has the director went to meet Kevin Smith before, and Kevin Smith said, "I know you. You're the guy that made There's Nothing Out There." And he said, "Kevin Williamson totally stole Scream from you, dude." But I wouldn't necessarily say he stole Scream, because Scream is a totally different movie, and it's actually a better movie, in all honesty, in my opinion. But this one here is kind of like the one that might have catapulted the idea of, hey, let's have this character mention this shit about horror movies. So that brings me up to the movie called Rabies. Rabies, which came out in 2010. Now, Rabies is directed by the two gentlemen who made Big Bad Wolves. It's one of those movies that I've had on my shelf for a while, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have a double feature, because for the previous show, which was Slashercast, we were supposed to do Big Bad Wolves. I made it halfway through, and what is that called? Where do they give you the movie to watch? They tell you to watch this. Screener, there it is. It was a web screener, and it just buggered out at the halfway point, and I couldn't finish watching it, which really sucked. I wasn't going to download it or anything. So I said to myself, hey, I'm going to watch their first movie. Well, I don't know if it is their first movie, but it came before Big Bad Wolves, which is Rabies. Which Rabies did come out in 2010. It is basically the same type of thing where, man, this is so hard to describe. It's so hard to describe this movie, but I'm going to do my best. I'll read the thing from IMDb, and I'll branch off from there, just to give you an idea what kind of movie this is. It's definitely a horror movie. If you don't think Big Bad Wolves is a horror movie, it's more of a thriller, which it more than likely could be classified as a thriller. This one is definitely a horror film, and it's just like you'll understand when I get through this. Let's see what they have on here. This is from IMDb, written by Navit. I don't even know who this guy is. All right. A brother and sister who run away from home find sanctuary in a deserted nature reserve. When the sister falls into a trap of a psychotic killer, that's my air conditioner going on, by the way. Psychotic killer, the brother sets out on a race against time to find help. In a twist of fate, the rescue of the sister becomes inadvertently intertwined with the lives of a group of young tennis players, a ranger and his dog, as well as a team of policemen. Yes, that is completely true, little synopsis. it has just all this intertwined stuff that happens that it's kind of like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, except it's it's not it's funny, but it's so serious. But then it's funny, but then it's serious, and people start turning on each other. And this one kills that one because this one does something bad to that one, and all the stories intertwine in this big mess of a film. It is just so fun to watch. It's one that I really don't want to spoil at all, and I'm not going to. But it kind of has the same feeling as Big Bad Wolves, where you have all these people that are doing evil things for their own doing, their own good, and to feel better about themselves. But the same type of thing is happening here, but in a different way. The cops in this thing are one of the cops is a total d-bag. The other one is the guy that looks like Steve Carell that's in Big Bad Wolves. The cast is really good. It's just a fun movie. If you like just seeing bad things happen to people, this is that movie. So I would recommend picking up Rabies. I think you can get a used copy pretty cheap on Amazon. I think that's how I got mine. But yeah, I definitely would recommend it. I don't know if it's on Netflix or anything like that. I know that if you go to Amazon Video, it's going to cost you a hefty penny to just watch it. So it's kind of ridiculous. You have to buy it for I think it's $13 or something like that. But definitely would recommend the movie. It's I had a great time watching it. So I would definitely recommend that. Now, speaking of Woods, the other thing I watched a while back, because I haven't revisited for quite some time, was Deliverance. And that's not the rare movie. The rare movie I want to talk about is Rituals, which Rituals came out after Deliverance. And the funny thing is that there were a lot of movies that came out at this time during Deliverance. It's just like the Halloween movie. Deliverance was kind of that movie for all the backwoods films, the backwoods horror movies. It was the popular one that everybody liked, and then all the B movies started copying it. And one of the standouts of it is the Well, it's called The Creeper as well, 1977, but it's known as Rituals. The only way to get it right now, I'm not sure if you still can, is through Code Red DVD. They haven't put out a Blu-ray of it yet, as of this recording right now. But you can get Rituals. You can get Rituals through eBay if you feel like spending $200. But there are other ways to watch it, which I'm not going to discuss, but you can watch it on YouTube. Anyway, I have the DVD, and I love the crap out of this film. It's the basic plot here is 5 doctors on a wilderness outing are stalked by disfigured, crazed killers. I believe it's one, but anyway, it stars. I'll go through the cast real quick. You have Hal Holbrook, Lawrence Dane, Robin Gamble, Ken James, Gary Reinecke, Murray Westgate, Jack Reilly, and Michael Zenon. That's the entire cast. There isn't that many people in this. It's just basically doctors that go out on a little camping trip, and bad things happen. That's what happens. One by one, they're picked off by this crazed killer, and there is a reason behind him killing them, as what I'm going to say. It definitely has. You can tell that they were going for a Deliverance ripoff, but it has a lot going for it. I mean, it's shot beautifully. The acting is top notch, especially Hal Holbrook. I mean, you can't really go wrong with the man. But it's just one of the best movies that's set in the woods. It's kind of like Just Before Dawn, which is another one of my absolute favorite slasher movies. Just Before Dawn, go just buy the shit out of that movie right now. Code Red has it again. I'm not a shill for Code Red, but you can also get a cheap DVD copy. It's not as good. You can still see the movie, but you can get that on Amazon, I'm sure. But my gosh, Just Before Dawn is so good, and that's another one of those movies that if you watch it again and again, it just gets better because you can't wait for that fantastic moment that happens. That movie and this movie would make a great double bill. But Rituals, I would probably put it like almost tied with Just Before Dawn as far as my love for it. I'd say just slightly under because it's a slasher, but not really a slasher. If you're on the fence on watching it, just check out the trailer for it for sure. You'll see something cool, and you'll see if you want to see it or not. But you have to be in the mood for a backwoods movie. You know, if you're not in the mood for the woods, if you want to see something that takes place in the desert, watch the desert movie. Watch Highway to Hell or whatever you watch. But yeah, Rituals is just absolutely fantastic. So, I'm not going to talk your ear off about Rituals, but I'll say Rituals is fantastic again. The last movie I'm going to mention is not really rare, but it's just one. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the lack of me listening to podcasts or just listening to people. I don't know what the problem is, but one that doesn't get much love, and it totally deserves it, is The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue, which has about 100,000 titles to it. It's directed by Jorge Grau, who also made The Legend of Blood Castle, Love Story, a couple other movies, but it's Spanish zombie film, and it stars Ray Lovelock, who you may know from a bunch of horror movies and actually some westerns as well. I know he was in Murder Rock. I know that for sure. But I think he was in Autopsy as well, which is another really cool movie. Really, really cool movie. The old Autopsy. If you think there's a new Autopsy, it's not that one. It's the one that Ray Lovelock is in. Check that out. If you're into Giallos, that one is a cool one. Even though it's not... It is, but it isn't. Anyway, Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. I'll just give you the fun IMDb synopsis. A cop chases two hippies suspected of a series of Manson family-like murders. Unbeknownst to him, the real culprits are the living dead brought to life with a thirst for human flesh by the chemical pesticides being used by area farmers. So yeah, this one definitely has a message. It's about how people just didn't like hippies, and they thought they were scumbags. They thought they were Manson-like killers and all this because if Manson had not a big beard, if he had shaved and was studious and wore a suit, then everybody in suits would have gotten killed back then, or attacked, or whatever. That's not necessarily true, but come on. But the movie itself is a slow movie. But when the shit gets real, the shit gets real, and the blood and violence that happens in it, and I'm trying not to ruin movies because I really hate to ruin movies, but I will say that there is an act of revenge toward the end. There's some unexpected deaths in this thing too. It's definitely a great little movie. I mean, it's so cool. It has another one of those things. It just feels grimy and dirty, but also like has a lot of atmosphere and like Hammer-esque feeling, and cemeteries and all that kind of stuff. It's got it all. It's definitely one I would recommend the living hell out of. I really would. I'm not trying to sound funny here, but I mean I cannot get enough of the Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. It's quite great. And after it's over, you'll kind of I'm not going to tell you how to feel, but I would say that more than likely you're going to kind of want to watch it again pretty soon. It's a long movie. It's like a whole hour and 35 minutes. feels like 2 hours and 35 minutes, but when it gets over, you want to watch it again. At least I did. So, that is that. So, that is all I have right now. I will recommend something real quick, which maybe one of these movies Nick and I may do on the show and talk a little bit more at length. We're kind of going to start to go away from like actual reviews and just do more of talking and stuff, which is kind of what I'm going to talk about in the next segment. But one movie I would definitely recommend picking up soon. It's going to be put out by Vinegar Syndrome, and it's another crappy movie, but it's a very, very fun movie. And that is Horror House on Highway 5. That's all I'm going to say for now. Pick that up if you get a chance.
8 minutes. 8 minutes for Sean Kelly.
If you're familiar with the show, there is a segment that we do, which is 8 minutes for Sean Kelly. Sean Kelly is a listener who reached out to us before and wished that our episode was 8 minutes longer. So we created this segment for him. He has done that once again, so I am here to present you 8 minutes for Sean Kelly. And I'm starting the timer now. So as you noticed, the Jack and Nick Horror Show, we haven't been able to record a show. It's obviously scheduling issues. There's no rift between Nick and I. Nick has done some excellent single-man shows, and, we decided, hell, I'll do one as well. Not to compete or anything, just to, put some content out to say hello, and I am here, and I do exist. Just giving you an update about the future and all that as well. We are currently, I'm currently in the process of, you are well aware of my schedule with my job and how many hours and days I work. I've reached the breaking point of talking about it on the show, so I'm not going to do it anymore. But the other thing that's going on is I'm also purchasing a house and moving to my old estate. So I'm going through that too, and it's going to be like about a month-long process. So in the middle of all this, Nick is still watching movies, and he's going to be recording shows as well, and hopefully sooner or later we'll be able to do the same together as we have before. Once I'm settled into the house, this is going to be a lovely place that is going to be quite quiet and perfect for recording. So more than likely you're going to get a lot more content from us. We're also going to change up the show a little bit too. I know there have been some critics, and they have said that our show is not it's not different. It's more of the same. And actually, if you go back to the shows and listen to that and listen to our previous podcast and certain other podcasts out there, it is a little different. And to comment on that as well, we were going to do something else with the show, and we were going to lead into something, and somebody that I trusted took that something and turned it into their own thing, stole it from us, and gave it away for absolutely free to get some cred, let's say. So that kind of put a damper on things too. Not that it put a damper on the show, because recording the show is fun, and we actually did one of our best shows when that dropped on us. So that's what's going on with the show. As far as anything recent horror-wise, I really haven't been out to the theater at all. I haven't spent any money except for groceries. It's pretty boring, but it's for a good cause, and good things are going to come about with it. And I'm also going to be doing some kind of crazy events in the near future at my residence. Not that everybody is invited, Mike. But I'm going to be having things like that we will be discussing on the show probably, or maybe not. Who knows? Um, but yeah, that's what's going on. I still have 4 minutes and 22 seconds. So um, I wanted to know, just as far as the listener feedback and whatnot, how you guys feel about that. If that's okay, that Nick is going to continue to do the show, and so am I, and hopefully we're going to be able to record one more before the massive thing that's going to happen. But once this move does happen, everything's going to settle down. This is all by Fleet. Fleet. I can't even speak. This is why I haven't done shows. The thing is that we want to do a lot of stuff, but there is really no time for myself to do it. And Nick has his hands full, but he's still able to fit some stuff in. I've done that too with this episode. It took almost a week to just record this in bits and put this out. Only because I turn into a blabbering idiot sometimes because I'm completely drained, both physically, emotionally, everything. Not that it's going to be a sob story here, but what I want to know is Sean Kelly. Let's make, since the show is or the segment is about Sean Kelly, we'll talk about him. I know that Sean is a writer, and he has written some films, and hopefully one day Sean is able to get on the show. That's what I'm hoping to do one day for you, pal. And that's not going to be like you're a guest, because let's face it, you're Sean Kelly, and we're doing a segment about you. You're going to be famous from us. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about here. Anyway, I'm trying to kill time just for Sean Kelly. So, next time we do a Sean Kelly segment, if anybody would like to reach out, what we could do is I could always do an 8-minute segment with Sean Kelly for Sean Kelly. So Sean, if you're interested in that, we could do that. Who knows? We'll just try to have fun with this. All right, I got 2 minutes left. I do want to say to everybody that listens to our show, thank you very much. I know it's been a bit of a struggle this year, and hopefully it gets better as this year progresses and ends and goes into a new one. And, to anybody that used to listen to us on our previous show, Slashercast, and if anybody thinks that we have big egos and we butchered that show just to do this, that's not the case. Just to clear the air there. But I'm not going into that, only because it's in the past and I don't feel like talking about it. So, and that's it. Yeah, really. But yeah, to everybody that has listened to us before and is still listening, I thank you very much from the bottom of my ridiculously stupid heart. And I just wanted to give a big thanks to Nick for carrying the show for a little bit too, because he has put out some great content. And some of the things I don't agree with, but the man knows how to talk, and his voice is just absolutely excellent. He's Nick, he's New Jersey Nick, and he's somebody that I consider one of my closest friends and one of the coolest people I know. So, regardless of anybody's opinion of him, I have my own opinion. That's all that matters to me. So, and I'm not gonna ask him to marry me. I'm sorry to those who are hoping for that. I have 30 seconds. Okay, so there's I don't know. I feel like I'm on the Oscars, but I'm no, I don't. Fuck that. You kidding me? Anyway, that's my neighbors knocking. That's another thing I'm gonna have to do. So, thank you very much for listening. We got 10 seconds left, and that is all for the 8 minutes for Sean Kelly, and that's the end of the Jack Horror Show without Nick.